subculture I'm going to be talking about today is otherkin. And has anybody ever heard of otherkin? I did not think so. I didn't hear them either until I started researching. But otherkin are people who identify as partially or entirely non-human. So this means they can identify as an animal, like a bear or a cat or a dog, or a creature, like a dragon or a fairy, or they can also identify as characters from like movies or TV shows. So what I'm going to be talking about today when it comes to otherkin are where otherkin come from, why and how they feel this way, and how they interact with themselves and the world. So otherkin have increased in popularity over recent years, and many people are trying to figure out their way of life. So where do otherkin come from? According to Shelton 2018, there's a group called the Elf Queen's Daughters, and this is a group of elfkin. So some of them, as you can see, they've changed their look, like they wear makeup or they change their ears. But elfkin are just like otherkin, but they're obviously just elves, whereas otherkin can be any other. Otherkin kind of branched out from elfkin in the 70s. That's when they became more increasingly popular. Also, they became more popular when social media became popular. So around 2012, on social media, that's when people started realizing the otherkin subculture. So now that I've talked about where otherkin come from, I'm going to talk about why and how they feel to be otherkin. So according to Roberts 2018, a person described being otherkin as kind of an awakening. So he felt awakened about a year ago when he started having these dreams, and these dreams were reoccurring, and they felt where in his dreams he would physically change into a fox. So as they kept occurring, they felt more and more real, and he would feel like as if he had ears or paws or a tail, and it was really strange and he didn't understand it at first, but once he got more comfortable with it, he would just be sitting around and then realize like, oh, I'm gonna play with my tail, I guess. So that's how he felt. Also, what made him more comfortable with it was when no one was home at first, he would act like how he acted in the dream. So he would act like a fox around his house. Another thing that kind of helped me understand more was this quote on this picture actually, and it says, when people ask me, how does it feel to be a cat? I'm like, how does it feel to be a human? And when I asked myself, how does it feel to be a human? I just kind of didn't know how to answer. It just kind of feels normal, like I don't know anything else. So that's exactly how they feel. They just feel like being a cat is normal to them, as if being a human was normal to you. So now I'm going to talk about how otherkin interact. And according to White Law 2018, they kind of described otherkin as someone who wouldn't interact much, kind of stay at home in a basement online. They mostly interact within their communities, so it's obviously not as normal to be otherkin than it is just to be human. So it's kind of hard for them to go out. People think it's strange. So they stay within their kind of community. But like I said, they became increasingly popular on social media in 2012. So that's another way that they communicate. They communicate on Tumblr a lot, is where they were more known. Also, the Elf Queen's Daughters, they would communicate back in the 70s through pamphlets, whereas now they use more social media to communicate. So, overall, the otherkin subculture has increased in popularity, and people are really trying to figure out and understand their way of life. Today I talked about where otherkin come from, why and how they feel to be otherkin, and how they interact with themselves and the world. We talked about elfkin, and that picture kind of shows how like they feel inside, and then also how they communicate, so they're kind of just like keep to themselves online. If you wanted to learn more about otherkin, where I started researching them was on Vice. If you look up Vice and otherkin, it should come up. So they had a lot of good background information, pictures and videos. it gave me a lot of good, like, before I started researching more into Otherkin, because I had no idea what they were. So if you wanted to learn more about Otherkin on Vice, I would recommend that. Thank you.